Welcome to SPOTO's online quiz. Today, we'll explain real certification exam questions to help you prepare with confidence. Questions 1. A junior-level engineer has been given the task of configuring an ACL on a router. He was told that the port that should be blocked is TCP20. Which access list command keyword could be used in place of this port number when configured? A. FTP. B. SMTP. C. FTP data. D. TFTP. You have 15 seconds to answer. Answer, C. The File Transfer Protocol, FTP, utilizes two separate TCP connections, a control channel and a data channel. The control channel operates on port 21, represented by the FTP keyword, for sending commands and managing the session. The data channel is used for the actual file transfer. In its original active mode, the FTP server initiates this data connection from its well-known source port 20 to the client. Therefore, the Cisco iOS keyword FTP data is specifically used in an access control list, ACL, as a convenient mnemonic for TCP port 20. This allows engineers to create more readable rules without memorizing the port number. The other options are incorrect, as SMTP maps to port 25 and TFTP uses UDP port 69. Questions 2. Underscore means that the QoS tool changes one or more header fields, setting a value in the header. A. Qualifying. B. Classifying. C. Insertion. D. Marking. You have 15 seconds to answer. Answer, D. In quality of service, QoS, marking is the process of altering a specific field within a packet or frame header to assign it a priority level. This mark signals to downstream network devices how the traffic should be handled as it traverses the network. Common examples include setting the differentiated services code point, DSCP, value in the layer 3 IP header or the class of service, COS, value in the layer 2 802.1q VLAN tag. This process typically follows classification, where traffic is first identified based on its characteristics, e.g., application type. Once classified, marking applies the appropriate value so that subsequent QoS tools, like queuing or policing, can enforce the desired service policy based on that mark. Questions 3. For a particular NAT implementation, a private address 192.168.1.1 should always be translated with a 1:1 mapping to IP address 12.150.146.100. Which command accomplishes this? A. IPNAT inside source int S0 overload. B. IPNAT inside source static 192.168.1.112.150.146.100. C. IPNAT inside source list 1 pool outside. D. IPNAT outside source static 192.168.1.112.150.146.100. You have 15 seconds to answer. Answer, B. The command IPNAT inside source static 192.168.1.112.150.146.100 correctly configures a static NAT entry. This creates a permanent, one-to-one mapping between an inside local address, the private IP, and an inside global address, the public IP. The static keyword is crucial, as it establishes a fixed translation, unlike dynamic NAT which pulls from a pool, or PAT, overload, which maps many private addresses to one public address using different port numbers. The inside source portion of the command correctly specifies that the translation applies to a source IP address of traffic originating from the internal network. This type of configuration is typically used to make an internal server, such as a web server, accessible from the internet at a consistent, public IP address. Questions 4. When comparing controller-based networks and traditional networks, what are some perceived benefits from a controller-based perspective? A. New operational models that allow for a single device to be instantiated with the entire network in mind. B. The use of automation through APIs that enable data-driven models. C. New operational models that allow the entire network to be instantiated and not just a single device at a time. D. The use of legacy approaches in the network to increase efficiency and productivity. You have 15 seconds to answer. Answer B, C. Controller-based architectures, such as software-defined networking, SDN, centralize the network's control plane, offering significant advantages over traditional, decentralized models. This centralized intelligence enables new operational models where the network is treated as a single, cohesive system. Administrators can define and deploy policies across the entire infrastructure simultaneously, rather than configuring devices individually. This holistic approach ensures consistency and dramatically accelerates service delivery. C. Furthermore, the controller exposes application programming interfaces, APIs, that allow for programmatic interaction with the network. This is the foundation for automation, enabling scripts and management platforms to provision, monitor, and modify network behavior. This programmability facilitates data-driven models where network telemetry can trigger automated responses, enhancing operational agility and reducing human error. B. Questions 5. The term refers to the process of matching the fields in a message to make a choice to take some QoS action. A. Marking. B. Analysis. C. Inspection. D. Classification. You have 15 seconds to answer. Answer D. In quality of service, QoS, classification is the foundational process of identifying and categorizing network traffic into different classes. This is accomplished by inspecting various fields within a packet's header, such as source/destination IP addresses, protocol types, port numbers, or existing class of service, COS, or differentiated services code point, DSCP, values. Based on this matching process, the network device can make a choice to apply a specific QoS policy. For instance, after classifying traffic as voice, it can be directed to a priority queue. This differs from marking, which is a subsequent action where a packet's header is altered to reflect its classification, allowing other devices to enforce the QoS policy efficiently. Classification is the essential first step that enables all other QoS actions. Question 6. Which answers encrypt the password that will be required of a user after they type the enable exec command? A. Enable password value. B. Enable secret password value. C. Enable password value. D. Password value. You have 15 seconds to answer. Answer B. The enable secret command is the correct and modern method for securing privileged exec mode access. It stores the password in the configuration file using a strong, one-way cryptographic hash, typically MD5, designated as Type 5 encryption. This prevents the password from being easily read if the configuration file is compromised. In contrast, The older enable password command stores the password as either clear text or with a weak, easily reversible Type 7 encryption. Best practice dictates using enable secret for its superior security. If both an enable secret and an enable password are configured on a device, the enable secret will always take precedence, further establishing it as the preferred command for this purpose. Question 7. After power on, a frame arrives at a switch. The switch had not yet learned the source MAC address of that frame. Which actions must the switch take in this case? A. The switch adds the destination MAC address to the MAC address table. B. The switch adds the source and destination MAC address to the MAC address table. C. The switch adds the source MAC address to its MAC table. D. The switch checks the frame for loops. You have 15 seconds to answer. Answer, C. This answer correctly identifies the fundamental learning process of a Layer 2 switch. When a switch receives a frame, it first examines the source MAC address. If this address is not already in its MAC address table, the switch creates an entry, associating the source MAC address with the ingress port. This learning process is crucial for building the table that the switch uses to make intelligent forwarding decisions later. The switch uses the destination MAC address to decide where to forward the frame, but it does not learn from it. Loop prevention is a separate, ongoing process managed by protocols like Spanning Tree Protocol, STP, not an action taken on a per-frame basis. Therefore, adding the source MAC address to its table is the essential first step. Questions 8. IP functions at what layer of the OSI reference model? A. Network. B. Transport. C. Session. D. Physical. You have 15 seconds to answer. Answer, A. The Internet Protocol, IP, is the principal communications protocol at the network layer, Layer 3, of the OSI model. The primary responsibility of this layer is to facilitate communication between devices on different networks, a process known as routing. IP achieves this by providing a logical addressing scheme, IPv4 and IPv6 addresses, that uniquely identifies each host on an internetwork. When a packet needs to be sent from a source to a destination on another network, Layer 3 devices like routers examine the destination IP address in the packet header. They use this information to determine the best logical path and forward the packet toward its final destination. This function is distinct from the transport layer, which handles end-to-end connections, and the data link layer, which manages local network access. Questions 9. NAT translates a private address 192.168.1.1 to a public IP address 12.150.146.100. How would 192.168.1.1 be described? A. Local. B. Global. C. Inside. D. Outside. You have 15 seconds to answer. Answer, A, C. In standard NAT terminology, the address 192.168.1.1 is designated as the inside local address. The term is a combination of two concepts. Inside refers to the device's location on the internal, private network that is subject to NAT. It is the network inside the NAT boundary. Local refers to the address as it is viewed from within that internal network. It is the actual, private IP address configured on the host's network interface before any translation occurs. Conversely, the public IP address it is translated to, 12.150.146.100, is known as the inside global address. Since the question asks how 192.168.1.1 is described, both inside and local are correct components of its full inside local designation. Questions 10. Which option would be the correct wildcard mask to match a subnet with the 255.255.248.0 subnet mask? A. 0.0.15.255. B. 0.0.3.255. C. 0.0.7.255. D. 0.0.31.255. You have 15 seconds to answer. Answer, C. The correct wildcard mask is 0.0.7.255. A wildcard mask is the inverse of a subnet mask and is used in technologies like access control lists, ACLs, and OSPF to identify a range of IP addresses. The most direct method for calculating a wildcard mask is to subtract the subnet mask from 255.255.255.255. Performing the subtraction. 255.255.255.255. 255.255.248. 0. 0. 0. 7.255. Conceptually, a 0 bit in the wildcard mask indicates that the corresponding bit in the IP address must match, while a 1 bit indicates that the corresponding bit can be ignored. This mathematical inversion correctly identifies the bits that can vary within the specified subnet, resulting in 0.0.7.255. Don't want to miss any exam content? Visit the SPOTO website now to take a free practice exam. Or add us on WhatsApp for everything you need to know.